Belarus has just issued a warning that is shaking the foundations of the ongoing war in Ukraine. This latest development is not just another political statement, it is being seen as a red alert in the conflict, signaling that something much larger may be about to unfold. The balance of power, the alliances, and even the strategies on the battlefield could be transformed by this warning. If Belarus shifts its stance decisively, both Russia and Ukraine will face new challenges, and the entire region could be pulled into a new and dangerous phase of war. Hello everyone, welcome back to the World Conflict Monitor channel. Please subscribe to my channel for more deep analysis and updates on the world's most critical conflicts. Today, we will be exploring the significance of Belarus's latest warning, how it changes the dynamics of the Ukraine war, and why this red alert has caught the attention of military and political analysts across the globe. On the exterior, the warning itself may appear as a political gesture or even as a symbolic move to support Russia, but when examined closely, it becomes clear that this statement carries the weight of potential military and strategic action. Belarus is strategically located between Russia, Ukraine, and NATO countries like Poland and Lithuania. This positioning gives it an outsized role in the conflict, despite not being one of the main battlefield players until now. Its border access could become a new gateway for troops, missiles, or supplies, shifting the balance dramatically. What makes this exterior even more concerning is the timing. Ukraine has been pushing back Russian forces in multiple areas, and Russia is desperately seeking reinforcements, alliances, and pressure points to regain lost ground. Looking at the interior, the domestic situation inside Belarus is tense but fragile. President Alexander Lukashenko has been maintaining power through a careful balance of loyalty to Moscow and suppression of opposition at home. Internally, the economy is under strain due to sanctions, and the population has shown discontent in the past with mass protests. This warning, therefore, is not just about foreign policy, it is also about Lukashenko's survival and maintaining control within his own country. His close ties with Vladimir Putin make it difficult for him to remain neutral, but any direct military involvement risks destabilizing Belarus from the inside. When analyzing the performance of Belarus's role in the war so far, it has been largely passive yet supportive of Russia. Belarus has allowed Russian troops to use its territory for staging attacks, training, and logistics, particularly during the early stages of the invasion. This performance, however, has not yet included direct combat involvement. If Belarus now moves from passive support to active engagement, the performance of the overall Russian war effort could be significantly boosted. This could also stretch Ukraine's defenses, as Kyiv would then have to prepare for threats not just from the east and south, but also from the north once again. In terms of safety features, Belarus's warning introduces serious concerns for Ukraine, NATO, and the wider region. For Ukraine, the safety of its northern borders becomes a renewed vulnerability. For NATO countries, the possibility of Belarus escalating its role creates new security dilemmas along the alliance's eastern flank. Poland, Lithuania, and Latvia would all need to increase military readiness. The safety features of international diplomacy are also being tested here, as Belarus's statement forces the EU, the US, and NATO to reconsider their next moves carefully to avoid uncontrolled escalation. The unique selling points of this warning lie in its timing and potential consequences. Unlike earlier symbolic gestures, this warning comes at a moment when Russia is under immense pressure on the battlefield, and Ukraine is gaining momentum with Western weapons and support. Belarus could either act as Russia's hidden card, opening a new front, or it could trigger a wider response from the West that Moscow is not prepared for. The uniqueness is also in the fact that Belarus is not a full-scale military giant, but its geography makes it a unique tool in Russia's strategic toolbox. When considering the price, the costs of Belarus acting on this warning would be massive. For Ukraine, the price would be a diversion of resources and increased pressure from another front. For Belarus, the price would be devastating sanctions, international isolation, and the risk of internal unrest. For Russia, while it might gain short-term relief, the long-term price could be even deeper entanglement in a war it is already struggling to control. For the West, the price would involve heavier military commitments to NATO's Eastern Front and an even greater financial burden to sustain Ukraine. In conclusion, Belarus's warning is not just rhetoric. It is a red alert that has the potential to reshape the Ukraine war in unpredictable ways. The exterior suggests a bold political move with military implications, while the interior reveals Lukashenko's fragile balancing act at home. The performance so far shows Belarus is a passive supporter of Russia, but that could change, and the safety concerns are escalating for Ukraine and NATO. The unique selling point of this warning lies in its timing and potential for opening a new front in the war. The price of action, however, could be catastrophic for all parties involved. What we are witnessing is not just another chapter in the war, but potentially the start of a new phase where the role of Belarus could decide the next direction of the conflict. This is why the world is on high alert. Belarus's warning changes everything, and it is a signal that the Ukraine war may be entering its most dangerous and uncertain stage yet. The coming days will reveal whether this warning is a bluff, a bargaining tool, or the opening of a new front in Europe's most dangerous conflict in decades. Stay tuned, because the consequences will be felt far beyond Ukraine's borders.